A new life. When I was a boy, I lived with my grandfather and my little sister, Emily. We had a small house in the city. It was not big, but it was our home. Grandfather took care of us. He cooked for us. He told us stories at night. He loved us very much. I felt safe with him. I felt happy. Every morning, Emily and I went to school. Grandfather woke us up early. He made breakfast. We sat at the table and ate together. He always smiled. Eat well. Grow strong, he said. After breakfast, Emily and I walked to school. Grandfather stood at the door. He waved at us. He watched us until we were far away. After school, we played in the park. Sometimes we ran. Sometimes we sat under a tree. We talked about our dreams. Emily wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a pilot. We laughed and made big plans. When the sun went down, we went home. Grandfather waited for us. He made warm food. We ate and talked. Life was simple. Life was good. But one day, everything changed. I woke up early. The house was quiet. I went to the kitchen. Grandfather was not there. The stove was cold. There was no breakfast. My heart felt strange. I walked to his room. The door was open. I looked inside. Grandfather was in bed. He was not sleeping. He was awake, but he did not move. His face was pale. His hands looked weak. I called his name, Grandfather. My voice was small. He opened his eyes slowly. He tried to smile. I am okay, he said, but I knew he was not okay. He looked tired. His voice was soft. I felt afraid. Emily came into the room. She looked at Grandfather. Her eyes were big. She held my hand. "What is wrong?" she asked. I did not know what to say. I did not want to scare her, but I was scared. Grandfather was old. He was sick. He needed help. But we had no one. It was just us. I ran to the neighbor's house. I knocked on the door. "Please help," I said. The neighbor opened the door. She saw my face. She knew something was wrong. She followed me. She followed me to our house. She looked at Grandfather. "He needs a doctor," she said. Her voice was serious. She took her phone and called an ambulance. The doctors came fast. They put Grandfather on a stretcher. They took him to the hospital. Emily and I watched. Our hearts felt heavy. The house was empty now. It was quiet. Too quiet. I sat on the sofa. Emily sat next to me. She did not talk. I did not talk. We just waited and waited. The hospital was big and cold. Emily and I sat in the waiting room. The chairs were hard. The lights were bright. People walked past us. Some looked worried. Some looked tired. A nurse came to us. "Wait here," she said. Then she left. The wall ticked slowly. I held Emily's hand. She did not say anything. She just looked at the floor. I wanted to be strong for her, but inside, I felt small. After a long time, a doctor came. He had a kind face. He sat next to us. "Your grandfather is sick," he said. "He is very weak. He needs rest." "Can we see him?" I asked. The doctor smiled a little. "Yes, but only for a short time." He stood up. "Follow me." Emily and I walked down a long hallway. The air smelled like medicine. We reached a room. The doctor opened the door. Grandfather was in bed. He had a tube in his arm. His eyes were closed. I felt my chest tighten. He looked so small. Emily ran to his side. "Grandfather," she said. He opened his eyes slowly. He smiled. "My little ones," he whispered. His voice was soft. I sat next to him. You scared us, I said. He laughed a little, but then coughed. Just tired. He looked at us. His eyes were full of love. You must be brave, he said. Take care of each other. His words felt heavy. I did not want to think about a life without him. A nurse came into the room. He needs to rest, she said. Emily hugged grandfather. I held his hand for a moment. Then we left. The walk home was quiet. The sky was dark. The streets were empty. Emily held my hand tightly. What will we do? She asked. I did not have an answer. I just squeezed her hand. I knew one thing. Life was about to change. The house felt different without grandfather. It was quiet, but not a good quiet. It was endless. It was empty. Emily and I sat at the table. There was no warm food. There was no laughter. I missed grandfather's voice. I missed his stories. Emily rested her head on the table. When will he come back? She asked. I did not know the answer. Soon, I said, but I was not sure. The next morning, I woke up early. I went to the kitchen. My mother had his breakfast. The next morning, I woke up. The next morning, I went to rest. My mother had her breakfast. In a few minutes, he came back. He took me to see Uncle Mail. I could not see my father. I did not know my father. My mother was not sure. She had the same thought as mine. She had the same voice. I did not know my father. What would she say? My grandfather was in me. Emily sat at the table and watched me. He did not say anything. She only took a small bite of the food. It's not like grandfather, she said. I knew she was right. Nothing felt the same. After breakfast, we went to school. The walk was long. The streets were full of people, but I felt alone. At school, I could not focus. The teacher talked, but I did not hear her words. My mind was at the hospital. I wanted to see grandfather. I wanted to know if he was better. At lunch, Emily sat with me. She played with her food. I don't feel hungry, she said. I understood. I did not feel hungry either. When school ended, we walked home. The sun was warm, but I felt cold inside. At the door, I stopped. I did not want to go inside. The house felt sad, but Emily was tired. She needed rest. We went in. I tried to smile for her. Let's do homework, I said. She nodded. We sat at the table, but my mind was not on homework. It was on grandfather. That evening, the phone rang. I ran to answer it. It was the hospital. A nurse spoke. Your grandfather is stable, she said, but he needs to stay here longer. My heart dropped. I wanted him to come home. I wanted things to be normal again, but I knew that was not possible. Can we visit him? I asked. The nurse said yes. I felt a little better. The next day, we went to the hospital again. Grandfather looked tired, but he smiled when he saw us. How are my little ones? He asked. Emily hugged him. I sat beside him. We miss you, I said. He touched my hand. I miss you too. He looked at me for a long time. You must be strong, he said. Take care of Emily. His words stayed in my heart. I knew he was telling me something important. When we left the hospital, the sun was setting. The sky was orange and pink. Emily held my hand. I wish grandfather could come home, she said. I nodded. Me too, I said, but deep inside, I knew that we had to be ready. Life was not the same anymore. Days passed, but grandfather did not come home. Emily and I visited him after school. He was weak, but he always smiled when he saw us. "Are you eating well?" he asked. I nodded, but it was a lie. The food I made was never good. Emily ate only a little. Grandfather sighed. "You must take care of yourselves," he said. His voice was soft but firm. One afternoon, I came home feeling tired. Emily was quiet. She sat on the sofa and hugged her knees. "I don't like this," she said. "I want grandfather back." I sat next to her. "Me too," I said, "but we have to be patient." She looked at me with sad eyes. "What if he never comes back?" she whispered. I did not know what to say. I just held her hand. That evening, I thought about our future. Grandfather was sick. It could not work. We had no money. We needed food. We needed to pay for school. I felt scared. How would we take care of everything? I looked at Emily. She was small and innocent. I had to be strong for her. I had to do something. The next morning, I woke up with a decision. After school, I would look for work. I told Emily my plan. "But you are just a boy," she said. "Who will give you a job?" I did not know the answer, but I had to try. "I will find a way," I said. After school, I walked through the streets. I looked at shops and restaurants. People were busy. I saw a bakery. The smell of fresh bread filled the air. I stepped inside. A man stood behind the counter. I took a deep breath. "Excuse me," I said. "Do you need help?" The man looked at me. He frowned. "How old are you?" he asked. 12, I said. He shook his head. "You are too young," he said. My heart sank. I walked to another shop. It was a small grocery store. A woman was putting vegetables on a shelf. I asked her the same question. She looked at me for a moment. Then she sighed. "I can't pay much," she said. "But you can help me clean." My heart lifted. "I will do it," I said quickly. She handed me a broom. "Start now," she said. That night, I came home feeling tired but proud. Emily looked at me with big eyes. "Did you find a job?" she asked. I smiled. "Yes," I said. "It's not much, but it's a start." She hugged me. I felt strong. For the first time, I believed that we could take care of ourselves. The next day, I went to work again. The grocery store was small, but always full of customers. The woman showed me what to do. I swept the dusty floor. I cleaned the wooden shelves. I carried heavy boxes full of vegetables and fruits. My arms hurt, but I did not stop. I wanted to do my best. At the end of the day, she gave me a few coins. When I came home, Emily was waiting by the door. "Are you very tired?" she asked softly. I nodded, but I smiled. "It's okay," I said. "We will be fine." She looked at the small coins in my hand. "Can we buy food?" she asked. "Yes," I said. We went to the market. We bought fresh bread, cold milk, some sweet fruit, and a little cheese. It felt good to buy something with my own money. The next morning, I woke up early. I made breakfast. It was simple, but Emily ate everything. "It's better than before," she said, with a grin. I laughed. "I'm learning," I said. After breakfast, we walked to school. I felt different. I felt older. I had a job now. I was not just a boy. I was someone who could help. At school, what are you doing right now? Maybe you are sitting watching or listening. Say these actions in your mind, in English. I am sitting, I'm watching a video, I'm learning English. You can do this for anything you do during the day. For example, when you wake up, think I am waking up, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm having breakfast. This helps you connect actions with words and think in English without translating. Step 3. Describe your surroundings. Take a moment to look around you. What do you see? Describe it in English. In your mind, for example, the walls are white, there is a lamp on the table, the room is very quiet. This step improves your vocabulary and makes your thinking more natural. If you don't know how to describe something, look it up and practice step 4. Talk to yourself in English. Talking to yourself might feel strange at first, but it's a great way to practice your vocabulary in English. Step 3. You don't need to speak loudly, just say things in your mind. For example, what should I eat for lunch today? I think I'll have a sandwich. I need to go to the store later. Asking yourself questions and answering them in English is a fun and easy way to improve. Step 5. Imagine conversations. Step 5. Imagine conversations. Imagine conversations is one of the best ways to train your brain to think in English. It's like creating a mental rehearsal for real-life situations. The idea is to simulate interactions that you might experience so you feel more confident and prepared when they happen. In reality, why should you imagine conversations? It prepares you for real-life scenarios. When you imagine conversations, you practice the language you'll actually use. For example, if you often go shopping, imagining phrases like, "How much does this cost?" or "Where can I find the bread section?" makes it easier to speak when you're in a store. It trains your brain to think in English. Your brain starts to associate certain situations with English. For example, if you often imagine ordering food in a restaurant, you'll naturally think in English the next time you're dining out. It reduces anxiety. By practicing in your mind, you'll feel less nervous in real-life conversations. You'll already know what to say and how to say it. How to imagine conversations. Start with simple situations. Think about your daily activities. Imagine how a conversation might happen in these scenarios. At a grocery store. "Excuse me, where can I find the milk? Do you have any discounts today?" At a coffee shop. "Can I have a cappuccino, please? Is there a seat available near the window?" On the phone. "Hello, can I speak to Mr. Smith?" "Thank you. I'll call back later." Add more details over time. Once you're comfortable with basic conversations, make them more complex. Imagine responses from the other person and how you would reply. For example, you. "Can I have a cappuccino, please?" Cashier. "Would you like it hot or iced?" "Hot, please." And can you add extra foam? Practice specific vocabulary. If you're preparing for a specific situation, focus on learning the relevant vocabulary. For example, if you're traveling, imagine conversations at the airport. "Where is the check-in counter for this airline? What time does the flight to London depart?" Imagine emotional conversations. Think about how you might express feelings at the airport. Write more about your trip in the comments. And remember to subscribe to the channel. Thanks, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Complimenting someone. "You did a great job with this project." Make it a habit. Incorporate it into your daily routine. While walking, cooking, or cleaning, take a moment to imagine conversations. Think about what you would say if someone asked, "What are you doing right now?" Use visual cues. Look around you for inspiration. If you see a book, imagine asking someone, "Have you read this book? Is it good?" Practice with real situations. After imagining a conversation, try it out in real life. If you're at a store, say what you practiced. Do you have this in a different color? Example practice. Imagine you're meeting a friend for the first time. You. Hi, nice to meet you. How are you? Friend. I'm good, thanks. And you? You. I'm doing well. What do you like to do for fun? Friend. I love hiking. How about you? You. I enjoy cooking. Maybe I can cook something for one day. Practicing this helps you build confidence and improves your ability to respond naturally in English. Why this works? Imagining conversations is powerful because it combines creativity with language practice. It keeps your mind active in English and helps you feel ready for real interactions, even if you don't have anyone to practice with. This technique ensures you're still improving every day. So start imagining conversations today and enjoy the process. Step 6. Use English every day. To think in English, you need to use it every day. Change the language on your phone or computer to English. Watch English videos or listen to English music. Try to read English books, even if they are for beginners. For example, if you're on social media, try reading English captions. If you watch a video, think about what the people are saying. The more you see and hear English, the easier it will be to think in English. Step 7. Be patient. Learning to think in English is a process, and like any skill, it takes time. At first, you might find it slow or even frustrating. You may struggle to find the right words or feel like your thoughts are scattered. But this is completely normal. Don't be discouraged. Every learner goes through this stage, and with practice, you'll improve. Why does it feel difficult at first? Your brain is used to thinking in your native language. When you start thinking in English, you are essentially training your brain to work in a new way. It's like learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you may fall or lose balance, but with time, you gain confidence and move faster. How to be patient with yourself. Focus on progress, not perfection. It's important to celebrate small victories. Did you manage to think in English for 5 minutes today? Did you learn a new word and use it in your thoughts? Amazing. Understand mistakes are learning opportunities. Making mistakes is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of effort. When you notice a mistake, don't feel bad. Instead, think, I learned something new. For example, if you think, I go to the park, instead of, I went to the park, it's an opportunity to correct yourself and remember for next time. Keep practicing daily. Just like building muscles in the gym, thinking in English strengthens your brain's ability to process the language. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Celebrate your achievements. Sometimes it's easy to focus on what you can't do yet, but don't forget to appreciate how far you've come. Maybe a month ago, you couldn't form a full sentence in English in your mind, and now you can. Maybe today You've thought in English without even realizing it. Encouragement. Your journey matters. Think about this. Every time you practice thinking in English, you're one step closer to fluency. It doesn't matter if the step feels small. What matters is that you are moving forward. Be kind to yourself and enjoy the process. Thinking in English is not a race, it's a journey. With time, patience, and practice, you'll get there. And when you look back, you'll be proud of how much you've grown. Keep going, and remember, you're doing great. Extra tips for thinking in English. Keep a diary in English. Write about your day in a notebook or on your phone. For example, today I went to the park. The weather was sunny. I saw a dog playing with a ball. This helps you practice vocabulary and grammar while thinking in English. Make flashcards with English words and pictures. Look at the pictures and think of the words in English. Practice with friends. If you have a friend who is learning English, practice together. Talk about your day, ask questions, and help each other think in English. Learning to think in English is a powerful skill. Learn to think in English. Imagine that instead of forcing yourself to study for hours or feeling anxious about making mistakes, you are learning English by simply living in it. This might sound too good to be true, but it's not. In fact, it's something that many successful language learners do. Here's how you can start to think about learning English as something that feels effortless. The first step to effortless learning is changing the way you think about learning itself. Many learners have the belief that they need to work extremely hard or that they have to memorize everything to succeed. But learning doesn't have to be a struggle. If you approach English with a positive mindset, focusing on progress rather than perfection, you'll start to enjoy the process. The less pressure you put on yourself, the more natural your learning will feel. Experience, not memorization. One of the biggest mistakes people make when learning English is focusing too much on memorizing words and grammar rules. Yes, vocabulary and grammar are important, but they shouldn't be the only focus. Instead, try learning English through real experiences. This means listening to podcasts, watching TV shows, reading books, and having conversations in English. When you're exposed to English in real situations, you start to understand it naturally without having to memorize everything. For example, think about how you learned your first language. As a child, you didn't sit down and study grammar rules or memorize vocabulary lists. You learned by listening to your family, watching TV, and playing with friends. The more you were exposed to language, the better you got at speaking and understanding it. This is the same idea for learning English. The more you surround yourself with English, the easier it will be to pick it up. Make learning part of your daily life. Effortless learning happens when you make English a part of your everyday routine. Instead of setting aside hours for study time, this might mean listening to an English podcast while commuting, watching your favorite movies with English subtitles, or even changing the language settings on your phone or social media accounts to English. These small changes add up over time and help you get more comfortable with the language. Focus on listening and speaking. A common challenge for many learners English fluently. We often feel nervous about making mistakes, so we avoid speaking. However, one of the easiest ways to learn English effortlessly is by focusing on listening and speaking. Why? Because these are the most natural ways we learn languages in the first place. When you listen to English regularly, you start to pick up on new words, phrases, and sentence structures. Similarly, when you practice speaking, you start using the words you've heard in real conversations. Don't worry about being perfect. The goal is to get comfortable with the language. As you listen more and speak more, you'll notice that it starts to feel easier and more natural. Celebrate small wins. Learning English effortlessly is not about achieving perfection right away. This person lacks confidence. Candidate 2 walks in standing tall, smiling, making strong eye contact, and speaking clearly. The interviewer thinks this person is strong, intelligent, and capable. Who do you think will get the job? Of course, candidate 2. Not because of knowledge, but because of confidence and presence. How to apply this in life? Every morning, stand in front of the mirror, take a deep breath, pull your shoulders back, and tell yourself, I am strong, I am confident, I can handle anything. When walking in public, keep your head up, make eye contact, and smile. Never let fear or insecurity make you shrink. Own your space. This simple change in body language can transform your confidence, relationships, and even your success. Rule 2. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. Most people take better care of others than they do themselves. They help friends, give advice, and support their loved ones. But when it comes to their own life, they neglect themselves. If you had a sick friend or a child, you would make sure they get proper treatment, rest, and love. But when you are stressed, tired, or facing problems, do you treat yourself with the same kindness? Most people ignore their own needs and don't respect themselves. This is why they stay stuck in bad habits, toxic relationships, and self-doubt. Imagine you have a close friend who is struggling. They feel lost, they don't believe in themselves, and they are about to give up on their dreams. Would you insult them, call them useless, and tell them they'll never succeed? Of course not. You would support them, encourage them, and help them get back up. But when you fail, what do? You beat yourself up, call yourself a failure, and think you're not good enough. Start treating yourself like someone you love and care about. Take care of your health. Eat well, sleep enough, and exercise. Protect your mental health. Stay away from toxic people, negative environments, and bad habits. Invest in yourself. Read books, learn new skills, and build confidence. When you start treating yourself with love and respect, your entire life will change. Rule 3. Make friends with people who want the best for you. Your friends and environment shape your future. If you are surrounded by negative, lazy, and toxic people, they will pull you down. But if you surround yourself with ambitious, supportive, and positive people, you will grow. Your mindset is influenced by the people around you. Success is contagious. If your friends are hardworking and ambitious, you will also be motivated to do better. Toxic people drain your energy and make you doubt yourself. Imagine you have two groups of friends. Group A, always complaining, gossiping, and making excuses. They never work on themselves and discourage you from trying anything new. Group B, encourages you, pushes you to be better, and celebrates your success. Which group do you think will help you grow in life? Obviously, Group B. Solution. Surround yourself with positive people. Make friends with people you love. Make friends with people you care about. Yourself with positive, ambitious people. Cut off toxic friendships that bring negativity into your life. Find mentors, read books, and stay in environments that inspire you. Remember, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. Rule 4. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. We live in a world where everyone is constantly comparing themselves to others. People look at social media, see pictures of others traveling the world, buying expensive cars, achieving great success, and they start to feel like failures. They think, why am I not as successful as them? Why is my life not as perfect as theirs? But the truth is, comparison is one of the biggest reasons people feel unhappy and unmotivated. When you compare yourself to others, you're focusing on the wrong thing. Instead of thinking about your own progress, you're looking at someone else's journey, which is completely, you're looking at someone else's journey,